Hello everyone, and welcome to our review of Steve S Vanilla Mod adds new animals to Minecraft in the style of the original game. Even though this mod is in the early stages of development, it already looks awesome and has impressed many players. In today's video, we will introduce it to you. Before we start, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment. It helps a lot to promote the video and the channel in general. Let's waste no time and dive into the review.
The first creature we're going to look at dwells in the high mountains and is called Boggart. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with Harry Potter or mythology. These creatures are purely fictional. The Boggart looks like a weird hybrid of elk and bison, and it looks pretty cool. They don't attack players, and they can often be found covered in snow. You can shovel snow off Boggart with any shovel, and you'll get a snowball in return. However, you can also reverse this process by covering them with a layer of snow, which will give them a snowy version. If you choose to attack a Boggart, it will not resist and will die from a few hits. When it dies, it will drop shreds of fur and a new item, as well as up to 2 units of vanilla skin and up to 3 new steaks. The latter steaks taste much better raw compared to vanilla steaks. However, if you decide to cook them, the situation will change and the vanilla version will be the winner. When it comes to Boggart's fur, it has a much more practical application. For instance, you can combine it to create a decorative block, which serves as a compact storage solution. Alternatively, you can mix 6 clumps of fur with a bucket of water and sugar to obtain infused Boggart fur, which can be used in 2 recipes. This infused fur can be converted into. You don't have to kill Boggart, as you can use a new plant called mountain bud. This plant grows in small clusters in the mountains, next to the usual grass blocks, and from it falls an item that is itself a mountain bud. You can plant it on grass or in a pot as a decoration, and as long as it is in the pot, it is in no danger. However, if you plant it directly on the grass, Boggart may notice it, sniff it, and take it in his mouth, occasionally carrying it around, which can be quite an amusing sight. At this point, it is unknown whether Boggart will be able to fully absorb the fetus or not. However, in any case, the mod is still at an early stage and can be finalized by the player. One thing is certain, the player will not be able to eat it. Instead, it can find other uses for it, such as some interesting facts. You should know that adult Boggarts can be ridden, and for this we will need a fishing rod with a bud analogous to a lucky carrot from vanilla. You will need to find any Boggart and put a saddle on it. This is how it will be displayed in. Then sit on it by clicking the right mouse button. And note that you will not be able to control it like a vanilla pig, but when you take the fishing rod, you will be able to control it. When riding a Boggart, you'll notice that it moves at a relatively slow pace, but the experience is quite enjoyable. The animation of the Boggart's swaying motion adds a certain charm to the ride, making it feel more immersive. When a Boggart with a saddle dies, the saddle will drop, allowing you to recover it. The mod also has a couple of achievements directly related to this big guy, are in vanilla tabs, and are given for the fact that you fall Boggarta and also ride respectively well. And while we have not gone far from the mountain biome, I will add that here added a new variation of grass works, exactly the same as vanilla, even wheat seeds fall out. But in the meantime, we move to the swamp biome, where we will meet the next mob, which is a giant green toad. It looks very cool, has a barely noticeable swaying animation most of the free time. The toad either spends in the water or jumps on land. By the way, its jumps are very high, which is not surprising because of its size. It just jumps constantly. And it can even irritate some players because it can stick to you. It looks like this. The toad just jumps on the player and starts hanging on him while on shift you can't throw it off yourself. The only way to get rid of it is to kill, unfortunately, but you are likely to encounter such a problem because by themselves they appear quite rarely. They have no practical use now as well as new drops, but they can be propagated with the help of a new plant which is also found in swamps or on the banks of a river. I am talking now about water hyacinth, which is a standard flower like those that are vanilla, and they can be collected even with a normal hand, and then use the right mouse button on the toads in order to. It is true that they are difficult to reproduce because they jump so much, and sometimes it is difficult for them to reproduce because the cubs they give birth to aren't tadpoles, they're full-grown toads. Well, in the meantime, we are moving on to the third and last at the moment Mog. This is a long-legged ram that will appear as well as elevated points of your world. It is not in the snowiest mountains. At first glance, this Mog looks like vanilla Minecraft sheep, but upon closer examination we will see that it is much higher poison and the muzzle is very different. Plus, it has huge black horns. At the moment in the mod, they are the most unfinished mobs, but at the same time, they have a unique non-mation of swaying. When receiving damage, their favorite food is apples, although it is currently impossible to feed them with such, just like wheat and under meetings. It is also impossible for now. Unlike ordinary sheep, they behave like standard passive mobs that will be afraid of the player and run away from him in a panic, and have absolutely no drops upon death. But as I said at the very beginning of the video, the mod is still in the early stages of development, but already looks very cool and promising. It is regularly updated, and in the latest version released at the time of the review, the frog and long-legged ram, due to the fact that they have not yet been finalized and do not look very good in general in the world as a whole. But at the same time, Bogart spawn quite well and work just fine. The two mobs I named were removed only temporarily. They will be returned in subsequent updates when the developers finish them, which is really very cool, because the models and textures are very cool. They fit the style of mine. Well, anyway, if you want to play with all the animals in today's video, then I will leave a link to the official mod for downloading just all the versions, and specifically to the version where the toad and, accordingly, the lamb were added. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching this video. If you liked it, as always, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, leave comments. This all greatly helps to promote the videos and my channel in general. Recently, videos on my channel, as you can see, come out quite rarely. I will try to be a little more active somehow.